Hi Aquarius, welcome to your timeless reading. I'm going to get right into it and start, excuse me, with the card that I pulled off camera for you. The tarot card with the overall energy that you are feeling right now for this timeless message for you to receive words of wisdom. So you started off with the Ten of Swords, which is normally depicted as a type of heavier energy, depending on the deck. But this one is pretty simplistic in its design, which shows me that, you have a lot going on mentally. I meant to mention this is for Aquarius Sun, Moon, and Venus placements. But you have a lot going on mentally. You are basically at your breaking point mentally. You are basically over the overthinking, over the constant thinking, over not having a mental break or mental peace, like a peaceful moment in your mind. You have a lot going on. And that's a lot that's stimulating your brain, stimulating your mind at this time. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Ace of Cups. Underneath that is the Ten of Pentacles. So a lot of cycles closing out for you at this time. But with the Ace of Cups, it's talking about a new emotional beginning, something that is going to be able to take your mind off of what you feel as if you either lack or what you feel as if has been in ruins, as the Ten of Swords is depicted. There's Gemini energy here, with the Sun and Gemini ruling over the Ten of Swords in the tarot, in this tarot deck. But I'm going to look and see what this timeless message is more about for you, Aquarius, to see what this mental exhaustion is stemming from. Overthinking. Okay. So I'm going to take the card that popped out. You have relationship change coming out with the number 56, which equals the number 11, which is a master number. And it signifies like you literally going through a change, going through a new portal, going through an existing door into a new chapter. At the bottom of the deck, for this deck, you have effort. And it feels as if you've been putting in a lot of effort, effort mentally, because you do have the Swords energy here. And it is a type of energy that feels over exhausted. So because of that, you have been putting in a lot of effort, and it is in regards to this change in your either current relationship or just change in relationships around you in general. We're going to look more into that. Which one do I want to do? Do this one. And to see what this relationship change is for you. I feel like you sense a change happening, or a change that has already happened in your relationships. This could be platonic, romantic, or familial even. It'll be different for everyone, every Aquarius placement. But the relationship change here is something that has contributed to a lot of the thinking, a lot of the overcapacity in your mind. This is probably a change that, with the Ace of Cups gracing its presence, it's something that's going to start actually being able to clear up space for you. This change is making space for you emotionally to feel less overwhelmed, burdened, or consumed by negative thinking. This one flew out. Okay. We have a few different ones. I'm going to read all three of them for you. We'll get to the bottom of the deck in a second. So you have the card Worth and Reframe. So this is what Worth looks like. Wow. So beautiful. And this is what the Reframe card looks like. Okay. And so just automatically, before we read even the further definitions of the card, I think you are reframing your worth in your relationships. Again, you've been really thinking things through to capacity. Like you literally have thought the thought until you can't think it anymore, or you can't think it any differently. And I think these are thoughts about yourself, but we're going to get into it. Worth. You have been worthy to belong to love all along without any need to improve. In fact, you are love itself. Okay. So this is a huge change in regard, and this is affecting your relationship because it's affecting you. You are a human being in relationship to another person. And anytime that is the case, it brings your personality and that person's personality into connection. Where you would be strangers, complete strangers, in a normal day instance, when you're in a relationship or in relation to someone else, that brings all of your complexities and all of their complexities together. And that can either help you into growing into a more refined, healthier version of yourself, or it doesn't. And we see that with relationships all the time. That they can go either way. They can help you realize your self-worth, your value, or they can do that by also being a moment that you have to let go of. It will depend on every relationship, every situation that you're going through at this current moment. It will depend. I can see in the message that this is about a relationship change, that this is about a cycle closing for you, that this is about you actually viewing yourself worthy of this new cycle that is coming into your life, being worthy to love this entire time. You've been worthy of being in healthy relationships this entire time and bringing your full self to that. And I think this is something that you're realizing, you're learning, you're experiencing more of, and understanding more of. And with the reframe, this is happening for me, not to me. So it's so beautiful how this is depicted, because with the statement, this is happening for me, not to me, you see this person, this figure, receiving a gift, actually receiving many gifts. Some gifts you probably aren't even aware of just yet, of transformation. So it's like, whatever is happening right now in your life, if you are able to reframe this situation and say, wow, this is happening for me. Like this change in my relationships is actually happening for me because I haven't been showing up as my full self, or I have limited myself. I have restricted myself in some way. I have kept myself out of like being too, what am I trying to say, Aquarius? It's almost as if you have been very precise about how you show up in certain relationships because you feel like there's no room for all of you. Like there's no room for all of you to be seen, depending on which relationship it is that you are trying to exist in. But I feel like we're going to get more into that. The card at the bottom of the deck is allowing. Radical acceptance says yes to reality in any given moment. So what's needed can come next. Okay, so radical acceptance is what you are facing right now, again, of yourself. This is definitely a message for yourself and how your radical acceptance of self will be changing your relationships around you. I don't think it's a bad change. The Ten of Swords, it looks more painful than I feel like sometimes it can be experienced. It's like, yes, we have a lot of, it could be negative self-talk that contributes to the ruining of your mood, or it could just be not viewing yourself as worthy of certain healthy relationship connections, which you are worthy of and you have been worthy of this entire time. So what is falling away, what is like being deconstructed, and what you may have felt like you put a lot of effort towards, is being reconstructed. Yes, reconstructed for a reason. Let's see what this looks like astrologically. Okay, we have Chiron at the bottom of the deck with hurt and heal. Chiron is, again, it's a pretty difficult, pretty heavy energy. Chiron is a natal aspect, a natal placement in the chart for astrology that talks about what we are going through in this lifetime and what we are needing to heal, what hurt, what pain we're needing to observe in our life, analyze, and how we can no longer just ignore that pain and learn to try to begin to heal certain things that have been sitting with us this whole time. You have the card that flew out of Capricorn with ambition, realism, and methodical steps. Okay, so I feel like your worth is being channeled in a few different ways. Excuse me, because Capricorn is also connected to like the material world, like gains, receiving gains physically for putting in effort and hard work, being very ambitious towards goals, checking those goals off, being very, organized and methodical, as it says, methodical steps. So I think the changes that are happening in your life in regards to relationship, it could be framed as a relationship change, and it starts to affect other things because it's making space, it's clearing up space in your mental and your mind, and you're able to actually tap into your creativity in a more ambitious way. It feels like you have other goals that you are now able to focus on when you feel less distraught mentally over changes that are more so out of your control. Is what that feels like. I'm going to look even more into this energy astrologically and see what it is that Spirit is trying to tell you. But I feel like if you find yourself not necessarily burying your head in your work or burying your head in a new hobby or creation, it's not necessarily a deflective or a a deflective technique where you just not face the challenging aspects. But if you channel what is bothering you into your creativity, into your work, if you take, the energy that you are feeling that makes you feel like, oh, this is happening to me and I have no control, instead of this is happening for me and I'm going to use this energy to actually build on what it is that are my actual goals that are actually they're making themselves known to you. And that also helps you with that also helps you with understanding your worth. So you literally have a sextile, semi-sextile energy with allowing. And we'll get into what the semi-sextile means astrologically. But at the bottom of the deck, you have North Node with destiny. Okay, so again, this all is tied into this relationship change that is happening in your life right now. It is a part of your destiny. We are not meant to fight what is a more mystical process in life, because our true control is how we react to the changes that are happening in our life. We can't change or control the changes. We can't control the changes. We can just control and analyze and observe how we react to those changes. And this builds experience. This helps you in your maturing process of knowing, okay, so when I live a less reactive life and I reframe what is happening and going on around me, I realize that it actually is happening for a reason most of the time, first of all, and that I can learn something from this experience of change, restructuring. I can learn something. It's a learning curve, but at the end of it, it gives you integrity. It allows you to become a different version of yourself, and possibly, the person that you've been destined to be. So with the allowing energy here in the semi-sextile, You are being encouraged. You are being encouraged to see the potential, which is literally the card says encourages and sees the potential in. So you are seeing the potential in this relationship change. I do want to point out, if you are in a relationship, this does not point to, oh, me and my partner are not going to be together, or we're going to break up, or whatever. A change could be a change of anything. It could be a deepening of emotional vulnerability, more vulnerable conversations with your partner. It could be a relationship change where you are reconnecting with your mother or your maternal figure because that relationship has been difficult, or your paternal figure even. So it could be a relationship change of any kind. I hope that you are taking, how this resonates for you, Aquarius, and to know that Spirit wants you to see the potential in this change. Be as optimistic as you can as possible per the situation, but just to see the potential in something in order to gain more clarification about yourself. This situation, this change is supposed to be giving you hope. Okay, it's supposed to be helping you to connect with your intuition, because you will know intuitively, oh, this feels okay for me to proceed with this change, or oh, this doesn't, and I'm not okay with this change. It's gonna show you something about yourself. It's gonna help you realize something about yourself. It is going to feel like a reward. As long as you are allowing the changes, as long as you are allowing the observations about yourself to take place as well as the changes, then you are going to be tapping into something that is very much so a part of your purpose. You have the 10 of Wands, another 10, and the 6 of Swords. They both flipped over, but I'm going to just do them one at a time. So there's something that may be feeling like you are holding back or oppressing. There's a lot of cards that want to come flying out, but they're not flying out clearly, Aquarius. So before you release what it is that you need to say, make sure that you have your own full clarity. Make sure that you are comfortable with the clarity that you have when initiating this change. Because I feel like this could either be a change that you are initiating in your life yourself, or this could be something that Spirit is initiating. And again, you are not going to have control of that outcome. But as long as you are aware of your true and authentic thoughts, your true and authentic feelings, then you know that you can proceed in this change with a certain security in self. You have the 6 of Cups, which in this deck, it is labeled as pleasure. We've seen the 6 of Cups oftentimes depicted as a inner child type of feeling, or a younger self energy as well, where we look at emotional connections through our lifetime, like through this lifetime, the life that you're experiencing at this moment from birth to now, all the emotional connections that make up who you are. I think these things are at the center of the relationship change that you are experiencing right now. So for some, like I said, it'll be in regards to family, and you'll be witnessing a certain emotional tie that is replicated in your lineage and your ancestry that you're interested in changing. Or this could be, for some of you, emotional, what did I just say? An emotional train of connection in order, romantically for you, like how you react to your partners, how your parents used to react to their partners, or something like that. Like how you have witnessed love growing up is how you replicate love in your life. And this could be a huge theme that is changing in the relationships around you. You also have the 6 of Wands. So that's 2 sixes that have come out for you. 6 is actually in regards to the family life. Also, there's Scorpio energy and Leo energy out here. But The Six of Wands talks about victory and recognition, being recognized not only as successful, but as like, what's the word? Valiant, like being of valor, having morals, a high ground, and all these other things that comes with overcoming your enemies or your oppressors. So I believe that your mind is your oppressor. You are overcoming these negative thoughts, these overbearing thoughts about yourself, thoughts about your self-worth. I think other people are going to start seeing how you reframe your own words, how you talk about yourself differently, how you feel about yourself differently, how they'll be able to see you making those emotional connectivity pieces and be like, wow, you are really breaking some generational cycles here by thinking the thoughts that other people wouldn't dare to think for themselves. Like, oh, I'm worthy of this, not just a material thing, but like an abundance of emotional happiness, period. What does that look like for me? Well, I'm going to find that out, and I'm going to actually go after it with the Capricorn and the ambition. It's like, I'm not going to settle. That's what that feels like. I'm not going to settle. You have the Prince or the Knight of Pentacles. So for some, it will be an emotional journey, solely just that. For others, it'll embody more of a material, a spiritual aspect as well. It'll be all of these things combined, where emotionally you realize it starts to hit you, where you have settled in the past, where you have not just settled either, but it's like almost like a comfortability. And then you reach this point in the Ten of Swords where you're no longer comfortable, where your mind is no longer comfortable with what you used to know, how you used to interact with people, what you used to accept from people. Like, it's not, you aren't feeling the same feelings that you used to when you were less vocal, it feels like. But in this relationship change, again, this is a learning process for you. It's going to happen slowly. It's going to take some time. This may be like your awareness, your just first awareness of a change that is going on relationally for you. Or this could be that you're, amid the change and not feeling like you know what else to do because you thought all the thoughts. Either way, I'm so glad that you found this timeless message in order for me to tell you that there's nothing you need to be doing. There's nothing you need to be doing. It's just an understanding that what's taking place in your life right now is not here to ruin you. It's not here to break you. It's here to bring awareness, an awareness of yourself that I think at the end of it all, you will be actually very, very proud of this awareness of yourself. Okay. And you had two cards that fell out, but they fell out so strongly that I'm going to keep them both. And honey, if I could just grab them with the nails. Give me 1 second. All right. So you have the Star card. Wow. Absolutely beautiful. The Star card. And you have the Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands. Okay. So you have two knights, which means that you are definitely feeling actionable. You are definitely feeling the change. Like if the change were to appear, if you had an opportunity, let's just say for instance, if it was romantically and you had an opportunity to leave someone, I feel like that it would happen. It would happen in due time. You would take your time to make sure you found the right resources to find a new place. You found the right resources to make sure that whatever it is that you need in order to have an amicable split from another person. If that is a change that is happening in your relationship, or the change that you feel is happening in your relationship, I feel like you will be very actionable in this. Because you have the star, which talks about divine guidance, and because you have 2 knights, one of them is slow, methodical, and thinks things through, and the other one is not afraid to, or isn't hesitant on taking the action that is most inspired to them. And if that means being outside of a relationship that is no longer benefiting you, then that is you. This is your energy. This is what's being depicted in the tarot. And I feel like with the reframing, again, I keep coming back to it, of your mindset of that this is happening for me and not to me, you will feel more encouraged to take the action that you feel inspired to take. And that will be different for everyone. I really do hope that you intuitively feel what that is for each and every one of you, because I can't tell you directly. Unfortunately, I can't tell you what that inspired step may be, but I have a feeling that you know what it is, and that you want to move towards your pleasure. You want to move towards happiness. You want to move towards what makes you feel good, towards what makes you feel good, and not what makes you second guess yourself or your worth. You will be victorious though, over, like, whether other people see it or not. You will be victorious over moving away from what no longer serves you. You will be victorious at the end of all of the change. It won't be like it is leaving you less than whatsoever. And again, it's all because you are being divinely guided with the star card here, and you're being asked to have hope, have faith, that you felt what you felt, you feel what you feel, you're over what you're over, and that nothing can make you second guess that. Okay. All right, Aquarius. So you have the Queen of Swords, which is absolutely going to be necessary during this change for you, like this energy, because the Queen of Swords, she really doesn't play. And I felt like you were over it when the Ten of Swords was here. So, and no matter gender, not like if you identify in that way or not, the Queen of Swords is a boss, a person who has no nonsense, no tolerance for nonsense. And when they are being called to do something, you are gonna figure it out. Like, this is definitely heavy. It feels like a heavy Aquarius energy, because Aquarius is also fixed air. So that's like a gush or a force of wind being blown at you and you have no control. Like, you have full body no control, because that gust of wind has forced you back. That is the Aquarian energy. It's like that because you are meant to be your own unique self in this time, and nobody can force you to be any other way. So with that knowledge, with Spirit's guidance, you are going to be driven and directed towards more material goals with the Ace of Pentacles here. The Queen of Swords, you are going to really be cutting off all, again, of the nonsense, all of the uninspired, all of the overthinking, all of the drama, it feels like. Especially because we have a Cups like at the center of your reading. And also at the bottom of the deck, you have the Three of Swords, which is labeled as sorrow. So there is something heavy, something, that could possibly, yes, make you want to cry, make you want to shed, make you want to release some very heavy emotional things, again, from your past that you've been carrying for some time. Again, but with Saturn's energy here and the Three of Swords, Saturn and Libra energy, this is something here to teach you about yourself, like to be shown This change is here to show you, your true self, your true pleasure, your true desires, your true goals, and your true ambition. It's giving like, oh, I had my hopes set on maybe this relationship. Like I had my hopes set, and it's now pivoting you into a different direction. Like this change is pivoting you to focus more on your inspiration, your goals. And that, again, it will be different for everyone. So please take what resonates. But you have really actually good energy here, because it's the Six of Cups. Yes, sometimes she can be difficult because we carry so much around with us that we're not consciously aware of. But this Six of Cups is labeled as pleasure. It's like you are going to have pleasure in this change. You are going to be euphoric at the new pathways that are opening up. So I'm going to get right into the angel number that came out for you. And this is kind of also like an affirmation for you as well, in case you need that reminder of who you are. But you have the angel number 1. You are a self-starter with very innovative ways of creating opportunity. Your determination and endurance are powerful and will help you get through rough times and reach success. So you have a lot of success around you. I feel like in all aspects, in all areas of your life at this time, no matter when you're watching this message, this is a timeless message for you to come back and to realize how innovative you are, how ambitious you are, how goal-oriented and persistent that you are as well, or how persistent you can be. And so when change happens, don't let that make you question who you are. Because even though things are changing, that doesn't mean that you aren't still the same persistent, ambitious, goal-oriented person. Like you can, if something is broken, if your concentration on something is broken, that means that you're supposed to be concentrating on something else at that time, if you get what that means. At the bottom of the deck, you have the angel number 21 with I am inspiring. You are highly creative with a strong will to succeed. Your imagination is highly charged. It reveals itself in everything you do, from your sparkling conversation to your most prized projects. So you have something that you may be working on or have worked on that is kind of new, very new to you. Very, like you have a lot of possibilities with this new aspect. You can grow it this way, you can grow it this way, you can do it this way, you can do it this way. And in that aspect, Spirit, again, is asking you to feed yourself the same worthiness that you would feed this new creation. Like if you are building a business, you want to be confident and know that, oh, this business deserves to thrive. Like this project, this creation deserves to exist. And so do I. So do I. And it can be just naturally like that. I'm going to keep shuffling and see what Spirit is trying to tell you directly in this timeless message for Aquarius. It just keeps flipping over. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Venus. Yeah, some of you are very innovative and really getting into that energy of creation. You have comfort that flipped out, and you also have ideation. Okay, so mystery at the bottom of the deck. I'm going to take ideation and leave comfort now at the bottom of the deck because I feel like that is what you are all seeking at this time. Ideation talks about ideas, creating, being in the creative, like having a creative spark and then letting it grow naturally, finding a flow to the ideas that are coming to you. So again, some of you really are absolutely creating something, innovating something, doing something a different way, a new way. It could be, again, in regards to your finances, but it could be in regards to how you are also leaving certain situations or thinking about certain situations as well. When you start to clear up some thoughts, you actually start to make room for other thoughts. And those are very creative. Those are, going to be planted in newer soil, fresher soil, because you've cleared the way, you've made space. And happily so, it looks like. It's not going to be the easiest time. With the Three of Swords at the bottom of the deck, there's pain inside of you. And I don't have to say that. But it's just temporary, as Spirit is showing me here in the clouds. It's just temporary pain. It's just temporary problems. It's nothing that you will be dealing with long term. It's nothing that you'll be dealing with long term. The saying the sun will always come back out is very true in regards to the situation. It's cloudy now, but with time, with change, the weather does change. You also have scales. Keep your life in balance. So as things are changing, if you feel like something is shifting a little more to the right, then you'd like, make sure that other scale is also in balance. That's how balance works. It's like, if something is taking too much, then I'm going to give something to something else so that I can make sure that I'm always in balance. On the bottom of the floor, not the deck, on the bottom of the floor is Carrot with opportunity or windfall. So some of you could be receiving an opportunity for more finances to make way in your life. At the bottom of this deck, though, there is excitement happening in your life. It could be in regards to the change, to the growth, to your just excitement for your understanding of life in general. But you have Tower as well, solid foundation, success with effort. You have a lot of repeating words with success, effort, and knowing that what you are building out of this change is going to be successful. You're going to be successful because you are so innovative, because you are so creative, because you listen to your ideas, you listen to Spirit's guidance, and that is where your success lies. And then you also have Tulip with great passion. So we started also with the Ace of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Again, we are replacing stagnancy with great passion, Aquarius, and I hope that you are feeling it. I hope that you are excited for it and that you are opening your arms to the abundance of blessings that are coming into your life right now. I hope that you enjoyed this reading. I hope that this timeless message brought you some clarity. Any amount of peace and clarity that is brought to you brings me great and immense happiness. But thank you for watching. Please give it a big thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. And I will see you in another reading. Peace.